Welcome back to some professional Starcraft 2, the ESL Open Playoffs Europe, the Big Game Weekly, number 49 and 48. All these $1,000+ of tournaments that blend together. But in the top right of this best of 5, the German Zerg player not only has probably better guides than mine on YouTube, I'm not jealous, but also well-accomplished top Grand Master. It's Lambo, named after his pet lamb he had as a child. I made that up, but that's a more fun story. And in the bottom left, of course, the best Beyond cosplayer in the entire world. The best micro outside of Korea. I think I'm pretty... especially for Terran. Obviously saying that. On Team Liquid, the young Frenchman, the Clem de la Creme. Will he execute and scalp another Zerg? That was pretty dark, but it's how he do. Sometimes when it just makes it, he makes it look unfair. Between starting from the first Reaper, all the way to when it ends, usually pretty quickly. There are so many games where it just looks like, oh, I guess you lost one base, and now in 5 minutes you're going to be losing the game on 3, 4, 5 different fronts. His multitasking is, once again, beyond cosplayer there. And he does have a tendency, he has the same strengths and weaknesses as the Microman himself. Great with Reapers, really, really strong with units that start with M. And he can play the late game. He doesn't want to, usually. He always gets at least one Zergling kill. Everyone else, they'd be lucky to get one. But Clem gets +1 Zergling kills on his Reaper. That's just his character perk. So, he doesn't care about the Queen popping out. He does a little, I guess. Oh, he's coming in for more. There's a Roach Horn on the way from Lambo, by the way. Lambo is not the favorite here. Lambo, one of a star-studded list of European Zergs. They're just a disproportionate amount of top-tier Zerg players on EU. Led, of course, by the twin titans of Cyril and Raynor. You tell me which one is better. But Laser, Lambo, Nurchio when he played more. There's been historically a ton of just barely below that level, but still don't get the credit they probably deserve. Bly. Let's not get talking about Bly, alright? Oh! No! He actually blocks the... Wow. So, fun fact, if you physically block, an extractor is larger than the gas geyser it sits on. Same with the refinery and assimilator. So, if the Reaper is right next to it, it can't build it because it doesn't have the technical space for it. That's why there are, especially in Brood War, this was a thing. But the buildings being larger than the geyser was an important part of walling off in certain locations. Well, the roaches are here, by the way. Big roach push. Clem obviously smelled it coming. Otherwise, why would you be building a Cyclone? So he had some time to prepare. But... oh. This isn't looking good for Clem. Wasn't enough time. There's not a third CC. And it's not like Lambo is hurting a lot for economy. He's building drones behind this. He's getting Zergling speed. A lot of these kind of pushes come down to how much damage is done. Oh, even the corrosive bile. The bile, I'm sorry. It's Europe. Clem does pop out a tank and a Banshee to clean it up. So, let's tally it up. 12 worker kills, but I do continue on, I reiterate, there's no third CC, so there's not the level of production we're used to seeing in these scenarios, and while Clem gonna do a counterattack, Lambo not that far, well, he's not behind at all economically, but it didn't cost him that much. It comes down to Ideally, Clem can kill the third. We'll see if that ends up being the case. More queens are in production. Not a bad defense against such a small amount of units. Jamming the tank in behind the rock here, the maximum distance away from mostly Zerglings, but also potentially roaches. A few Ravagers would be super helpful here, but unfortunately Lambo doesn't have any roaches left over for him. The Zerglings with the wraparound. A few split off for the tank. Well done by Lambo. Targets down the Banshee. Brenda and her knitting crew. Clean it up. Clem felt kind of desperate to do damage. And that means Lambo has more than enough to defend. Like, he knew the attack was coming. He literally showed the overlording. So far, Lambo off to a strong start in game one. He's got his upgrades quicker. He's starting his 1-1 with a lair on the way before Clem started his engineering base. He just lost 2 tanks. Clem just lost 2 tanks. The Queens shot down a Banshee. There's one more to go, but it doesn't have Cloak. So, Lambo has found himself in a strong position. He's put himself. Let me not. I'm not giving him the credit he deserves. He hid the roach push long enough that Clem had to scramble to defend, and he executed it well enough. And, get off my land! Finally, the Banshees. How satisfying is that for Zerg players? For those of you small minority who actually play, especially play Zerg, actually killing air units with the queens. Just such a weight off your shoulders. Off the shoulders the queens are required to carry that weight, something like that. I don't know, I'm kind of mixing my analogies here, but anyways, at the end of the day, not having the Banshee just not existing is such a big deal, mentally and having map control in general. Is this the Octorax? Wait, let me count. It's an Octorax build from Clem. That's the follow-up against a Ling Bane Muta. Baneling speed starting. Oh, here we go. All right, everybody sit up. Sit up! Don't drop your phone on your face! Come on. When was the last time you sat up? Focus your attention on your second monitor. We're getting started. Turn up your TV, I don't know. Get closer to your smart refrigerator, close the door. Push the turbo button and take the tendies out of your KF console. Please sponsor me, KFC. I love you, Colonel Sanders. A finger-looking good dating simulator was the best ad I've ever played. I'd love to play a sequel. Double medevac is just the beginning. I think we're going to take a little time on the Clem action cam here momentarily. I'm just giving warning. This is a vertigo slash... mostly a vertigo slash dizziness warning. Because when we switch to a player of this speed, especially when you're not ready for it, it's a little jarring. But to the Clem action cam. I told you! I'm not lying! Alright. You didn't believe me. Here we go.
Ready for dust off.
He scans the other base, but he's got his units on the left side. It's time to press. Nothing sent towards that direction. Finds a little on the minimap. Driven back. Combat shields is finished. No 2-2 on the way quite yet. Actually, can we take off the player colors? There we go. We can actually see what's happening. A great positioning, gunning down dozens of drones, but a counterattack. Deals with it with the reinforcements, has to cancel. A few banelings at the front. 10 drones go down. Not as many as you would have thought in that exchange, but he's going to get the base. The tank positioning is disgusting. They don't discriminate whether it's high or low ground, but the Zerglings from the back. Clem gets the base, but does he lose the battle overall? He's still reinforcing back at home, targeting down Mutas. How does he recognize when the banelings are gone? He immediately realizes banelings are gone, and even though he's going to lose the fight, he got like 3 or 4 extra Mutas with it. I don't know, like, the banelings were just gone, and immediately he stands his ground and targets Mutas. I did not notice. I doubt if you noticed, stop lying. Like, oh god. 2-2's on the way, but 2-2's finishing up for... Let's go to the Lambo action camp on the other side. Meanwhile, Lambo forced to pull back. More banelings coming up. Looking for an opportunity. Banelings crashing through. A couple... The Muta's doing their best to help. There's not that many left over. The banelings still a very important... Clem targets them! How is he so good? It doesn't matter though. Lambo crashing through the Marines. The upgrades are done. +2 melee, +2 carapace. Finishing up. Lambo continues production. He's up by 15 supply. No infestation pit. No infestation pit. Where's the infestation pit, Lambo? Now this is the heart of the swarm kind of exchange. Where we have a Zerg player who's essentially max on tech right now. He's on maximum layer tech. He's got 2-2. He's got a bunch of mutas. He's got 4 or 5 bases. But he doesn't have a hive on the way, which means as time goes on, the Terran gets stronger and stronger if you're not able to do damage. I gotta say. Lambo finds himself in a good spot, but he's got to do something with it. He finds an opportunity at the third. Going for the SCVs. Clem scrambling to defend. The banelings coming in before the planetary is able to complete. He's on the production line. Targets down the Widow Mines. Finds an undefended set of SCVs. More SCVs transferring. Only a single missile turret will not be enough to defend against this. The Mutas find the base. Forced to lift. The planetary never completed. 7 SCVs go down alongside it. Lambo pulling back with his Lings and Banes. The Muta's off to the side, injects across the board. Still no infestation, but still stuck on that layer tech. Clem still holding, but the planetary, well, soon to be planetary, being repaired by some SCVs. He brings the Ling Bane to the left side. 2-2 about to finish for Clem, of course. Lambo doesn't know the exact time. He knows it's going to happen eventually. Splits off a couple Lings to deal with the Widow Mines, but gets into the mineral line again with the Lings and Banes. Clem tries to evacuate, lifts the orbital command, but the Mutas swing back in towards the fourth. Still, Clem struggling to handle this. Still no infestation pit from Lambo. Let's flip it over. Back to Clem. A scan reveals that the fourth base is up and mining. Another Widow Mine. He has to run away though. The wall isn't perfect. He messed up his wall. He's just like you guys. And me. Mostly me. He's human too. Or maybe it's intentional. I don't think it's intentional. I think maybe the depot was taken down earlier. Alright, back to everyone. You see, this game is just, like, why do they make mistakes? They're just, like, it's so obvious. Just kill that medevac. Kill those mutas. Come on, they're right there. Why aren't you killing them? Wow, that's a lot of mutas. 23 mutas. No infestation pit. He's on the mutas. No, we're going to finish this out with the action cams. And I have too much fun with them. I'm sorry. Especially if you're watching at lower quality because your internet sucks. I'm sorry to hear all of that. The SCV's actually repairing a unit past the 10-minute mark of a game? Wow. And they say that was illegal. I thought it was illegal. Like they have, like Apple says, you're not allowed to repair your iMedevac after the 10-minute mark. It's illegal. They take it. They went to court over it.
Mineral field complete.
Meanwhile, though, that Widow Mine hit. Clem finds an opportunity. The Mutas. Oh, no. The Mutas. But wait. There's Banes. For every play, there's a counter play. 11 SCVs go down in the fourth phase. It cost a lot for Lambo. That was a lot of Mutas. But he got the fourth. He got the fourth. 3-3 is on the way. But everything Lambo was doing is buying time. Look at the supplies right now. With 3-3 on the way and an even amount of army. In fact, more army. 117 army supply right now for Clem. Lambo needs to hit this hard and fast and knock Clem back to his base so that way he can abuse the fact he has 5 bases to 3. As Clem gets a larger and larger closer to maxed out, his army's just going to be better. He's got tanks, he's got marines, he's got mines, he's got medevacs, he even mixed in a few marauders because he does admit that just marines are maybe a little too dangerous. The mutas are back in the natural. 1 base taken down for free. Lings and Banes forming up to defend. Clem reacts, moves the SCVs away. 6 drones go down alongside the base. He's looking for more. The mutas are in the main. Still, Clem doing whatever he can, scrambling to defend, but microing back. The Banelings crashing through. Widow Mines finding some connections, but the mutas, they can fly. It's a real problem. More SCVs falling. The economy starting to crumble for Clem. He's got mules as a stopgap. He's got mines as a stop everything. But more Lings and Banes, a few mutas back at home, a couple different groups of mutas for Lambo, which is ridiculously hard to control. More Whittle mines and a tank taken down. The fourth base. There is no fourth base. He's running out of mineral patches right now. Lambo has a 1,500 income advantage. That is combined minerals and gas, both of which are important at this stage. Clem doesn't need gas that much, but he desperately needs minerals. He can't produce out of his Octorax. He's desperately producing Whittle mines as quick as he can. 3-3 is done, and that might be the time to hold the line. The drilling claws will help out and defend. More bio microing back. Medivacs for all with Clem's army, as he has a dozen or so. If he just gets rid of the Banelings, if he just gets rid of the Banelings, if he just gets rid of the Banelings, he can collapse and kill the mutas, and he does. He gets rid of the Banes. The Medivacs, somehow all dozen of them are out of energy, and Clem holds with even supply and a greater army supply, and 3-3 is done. And now things tilt back the other direction. Clem has taken a fourth. He's held the line. He scans across the board because all he needs to know now is where the army is and how to stop it. His army is better. He needs to keep his economy intact, but he can trade better than Lambo. Lambo eating massive hits in the center mass of the mutas. Clem is smelling blood in the water. Or maybe it's just blood all over the place with this game, the way it's going. I told you to sit up. I hope you've been sitting up. I hope you're enjoying your tendies. Because it's worth it.
Command center, mineral field.
Lambo, chilling at a couple thousand APM here. Clem, not a slouch. I like you.
Mineral field depleted.
Clem sending it over to the right side. Oh, he's setting up mutas and baiting with a medevac. He's going to use the medevac. Oh, come on. Come on. He's baiting in. Come and get me. Hey, hello. Zerg, mutas, hello. Oh, I'm over here. Wow, he spent more time on the bait medevac than he has microing his main army most of the time. And it worked. The army came that way and Clem strikes to the left. And suddenly, Lambo is starting to lose mining bases. Clem has the critical mass of units. Lambo does not have the supply to compete, I guess, Hive Tech? It feels like Lambo needed Hive. Well, I mentioned it at the time. I mention it now. The lack of upgrades is really hurting. Clem closing the distance here. He's taking out bases. The splash damage knocks into the mutas and knocks them almost all the way out. GG Clem takes game one. Clem holds, despite being hit left and right. Eventually he holds and closes in on 3-3, which is enough. Lambo, I mean, I think you could tell even just from the first person. Lambo's fast, but then you go to Clem. It's no comparison. There are very few comparisons with Clem. He's just... Well, game two. After that snooze fest. If you want more snooze fest like that one, if you can bring yourself to be awake enough to like and subscribe, then I hope you enjoy. Yeah, I think people are already focusing on the bait at the end. That was almost the game was kind of set then. It looked good. That's one of those like put that on the highlight reel plays. But Clem holding until 3-3 while still having enough command centers to mine, that was the winning move. Of course, you gotta cross your T's, dot your I's, split your Marines, and make sure your Whittle Mine's barrel. But having 3-3 against Mutiling Bane Army has, for a decade now, been the deciding factor. It's been what makes the difference. So if you don't get the damage done in time, if you are not able to knock a Terran almost, if not out, down, then your army just doesn't compete. Those 3-3 Marines and just the increasing cost efficiency of the mines, because now like the Marines can just fight mutas better, essentially anything but Banelings. The upgrades really matter with bio balls. And Lambo had a great start, too. I think he handled it really well. His mutas were doing a great job. Clem was just... That game, and that's why I told you to sit up, by the way. I like to think I'm a good judge of good games for the fans, and that's why you're here, hopefully. I knew that was going to be good. Because as soon as the Octorax gets slapped down, and you see the Spire in the production tab, what kind of sets the stage is that the Zerg has an advantage. The Zerg had an upgrade advantage. But they were going into Mutiling mainly. And they were up against Clem. Like, Clem, in that scenario, he has to play well. So there are two options. Either Clem gets rolled by the first round of Mutiling Bane because he's not ready for it, or he fights his way back into a not winning but stable position. I was betting on Clem fighting. That's a pretty safe bet in my opinion. Did he just... Oh, he did. The Reaper gets no kills. This is not good news. Oh, but wait. Oh, he wants that tumor. It's a tumor. It still is. 2 command centers in production. This time, 3 CCs is on the agenda. He cancels 2 Hellions. Why? For SCVs? I guess he wanted to have a couple more SCVs in production. He's micro your macro. He actually delayed his Hellions slightly in order to make sure he had continued SCV production. So you Diamond Terrans out there, take some goddamn notes. Also, watch Angry Coach, either every Sunday night, and by every Sunday night I mean like every other, or on YouTube. Occasionally. Unfortunately, though, those 4 Zerglings that Clem did not take any bites out of will come to haunt him, as will delaying the Hellions even 10 seconds, because now SCVs... Oh, hello. Lambo again, though, with the Roach play. It worked well last time. This time it's 3CC, which... isn't necessarily better. The only... Well, what is better, by the way, is there is no tech lab on the starport. He's halfway through a Liberator. And a Liberator might be like, oh, that's fine against Roaches. Roaches can they scuttle around. And they can avoid it, let alone if Ravagers get involved. The Roaches show up. Clem is in an awkward position of... He has a Liberator finishing. Oh, wow. Okay. All right. That's the choice. Play a little bit of add-on roulette here. He gets the Liberator, but then he slaps the barracks on a reactor. It's great to see this in real time. The starport on a tech lab and builds a tech lab on the factory, trying to maximize the amount of units he can put out in a timely manner. He has the Liberator, which will potentially... Oh, the Corrosive Bowels don't find the 3rd hit. He's trying to just bait it. If he forces Corrosive Bowels away, he uses a couple. Down goes 1 bunker. A lot of Roach Ravager. There's just not that many units here is the problem. Like, even if he slips a couple Marines into the bunker, but the bunker is essentially dead. The tank is coming out, the Banshee as well. But already a dozen SCVs have gone. He got in the main! He got in the main! I mean, it's not like he couldn't take down the depot. The Banshee, oh no. Oh, he barely micros it, but he gets it out. All the SCVs are the natural. He's just mining. He knows they're dead if they get focused anyways, so might as well get some money out of them. It's not like the main is any safer. Clem losing 25, 29 SCVs. It's not over, but now it is. What a timing. Lambo this time commits. He follows with the Zerglings, and he knocks them out. Lambo not letting Clem... And he didn't see the 3CC, by the way. That's important to note. He did not see the 3rd command center before committing to that. He was going. I think he felt like the game before he could have done that and maybe landed the win either way. So I don't blame him for that. Like, you're facing Clem. Come on, like, game 1 was a great game, but Lambo had a lead. It did not translate into a win at the end of the day, so if you're gonna do something like that, I don't blame you for committing. And I wouldn't be surprised to see something similar again. A nice quick, like a cool down game almost. For game 2. A cool down game where Lambo just turns around and punches Clem in the face. After Clem dancing around, holding bait medevacs, and microing perfectly on, or near perfectly on 3 fronts, Lambo just had enough. Death Aura. Game 3. Best of 5, so we're not even on match point. This will decide who's on match point, unless it's a draw, in which case, then the next game on Death Aura will decide who's on match point. But the likelihood of a draw is lower than the chances of me getting this deep in the ESL Open. This is, I believe, the semifinals. So, with players like Clem and Lambo. So, every time you bring up a draw, you're like, now I can fill another minute of time explaining how draws work and how they'll never happen. Except for those very small handful of times they have. There's a Terran in the game, which increases the likelihood by, like, double. I've seen like, maybe 2 games that didn't involve a Terran that were a draw. A draw simply is when neither player can mine nor kill each other's buildings. So the usual scenario is there's a barracks or command center, well, not usually a command center, but a barracks floating in the corner. But the Zerg has no air units, or not enough air units to kill the Vikings that are left, whereas the Vikings cannot kill the spine crawlers that are still existing. And that's it. There's been some dramatic games where, like, unburrowed spores are walking across the map to stay alive because there's no creep. Like, I'm pretty sure it was Parting. It might have been SOS. Was one of the few players involved in a PvZ draw where it came down to, like, spine crawlers walking around, and then there was, like, a zealot. But the zealot died. Or no, it had to be a stalker. But, like, the stalker killed a queen or something. But the queen killed a stalker, and they both killed each other with the last shot. And then there was no creep to burrow the spine to kill a pylon. It sounds like a movie ending, because it's like 1 in 10,000 games. But literally a spine crawler and a pylon just hanging out staring at each other. Because one can't burrow and the other can no longer shoot. Is this a 2-1-1 but with a 3cc? 2-1-1, 3cc, you get 2 medevacs for 16 Marines. And then the 3cc, you get like 70 SCVs in 6 minutes, and
The numbers don't lie, and they spell disaster for you.
Did we ever come up with a better name than 2-1-1? I'm big on new names, like the German Taxi build, which is Lambo's Queen Drop build. I think usually used against Protoss. But instead of just Queen Drop, which isn't even that descriptive, but the German Taxi build is when you shut down a Stargate play with early queens. Brenda's knitting crew getting chauffeur service to the other side of the map. The Octorax is a fancier way of saying 8 racks. But 2-1-1, I feel like the ship has sailed on that. The 2-1-1. The Be Unstoppable build, except it gets stopped a lot, so it doesn't really And it is 100% attributed to him because he was the only player who really made it work originally. And he made it work so well, it was kind of disgusting. And then players were like, what if I just built more queens? And here we are. That is an... What? Is that for mines? An armory? Is that for cloaked mines? This is a cure build. I just attribute mines to cure because he's like, you know what? I don't have to micro marine so well if I just get widow mines. And he's kind of right. That's how he beats Sterile. Yeah. I mean, it's a be unstoppable build into a curing micro, into Cure's Minecraft opener. A little bit of everything drizzled in here. But here comes the 16 Marines and 2 medevacs. Less than a minute off what it would usually be with only 2 CCs. So that's how good. There's a double factory play. The Biocurious build, actually, this is. Oh, that works perfect. Ah, I gotta stop complimenting myself. It was obviously clever. When you go bio, but you do Cure's Mine build. The Biocurious build. And I am attributing the heavy mine usage to Cure this year, because he definitely has been spearheading it. Mostly because he loses all his Marines to Banelings. But, and is left with only mines. But they work well enough. Clem does not lose all his Marines to Banelings. He actually just doesn't lose his Marines. It's kind of disgusting. But here comes the mine! Surprise! Is there anything in there? This time, Drilling Claw is not done. Widowmine hits an Overseer who's very unhappy about it. That's not how it's supposed to work. More mines dropping. Tries to target. Gets a handful of drones, but here come the Marines. 1-1 about to finish. For Lambo. That's going to help out a bit. Oh, the Queens. Oh, so mean. Oh, gets the medevac. Knocks it out of the sky. The Queens. Revenge! Brenda's revenge. After all that annoying Terran micro, finally, the satisfaction deserved. Like pulling a hot, steamy chicken tendy out of your KF console. Please sponsor me. Oh my god. Well, when Marines just won't cut it, how about 17 drone kills with 3 mines? Okay, you know what? It was actually 14. There were 3 kills in the main. So all that Marine and medevac, yeah, not such a big deal anymore, because 17 drones is a heaping, helping, a double down of drones, if you would. Oh my god, they burrow so fast. How do they burrow faster than Zergs? How does that work? Tactical superiority. Alright, the Terran tech. Stepman's been working on it in a Terrazine-fueled fugue, which is possibly the first time. I need, like, achievement unlocked every time I use a new word in a cast. Like, how many of the words that I am saying right now have I used before? Probably 99.9 repeating % of them. Well, the mines are really mad at the Overseers. This time they just hit that. Just gonna get my thesaurus out. I'm sure there's a deep learning AI that could figure that out and would make me uncomfortable. Oh. The Marines getting very close to dying to Banelings, but they go through the Speedulas. Which helps and hurts, depending on how many drugs you're doing. If you're a Marine. Or just generally, I guess. That's a lot of Banelings. Is it time for the Lambo action cam?
Swarm has evolved.
He's got Abathur. A preem choice of announcer, by the way, of course. Meanwhile, though, Widow Mines everywhere. Beautiful surround. The tank's on siege. Can he go? He is going. The Baneling's coming in. Clem is microing back, but where's he going to go? He picks up and he tries to get out, and he succeeds. How does he do it? Oh, the medevac. So many Banelings. So many Banelings. So many Banelings. He's going to be over 50 Banes. Well, back to Clem. I'm sorry, it's too fun. Clem trying to hold. He micros his Marines back. There are so many Banelings all over the place. I always get lower FPS on this map. I wonder if these players do. It's kind of annoying. I think it's the Speedulas doing it. Anyways, he loses the planetary. The Marines suffering the consequences, but enough bio on the high ground. 19 SCVs go down, but not the game. Clem holding. He always finds something to hold on to. Wait, we're on Lambo. Wait a second. I was wondering. It looks weird. It's like Clem's injecting his hatcheries. Wait a second. Infestation Pit is on the way. Infestation Pit a little bit easier to get to if you go for Hydras, because Hydras cost half the gas of Mutas per unit, of course. They don't give you the ability to pressure as much, but he's got a Lurker Den on the way. He's got +2 ranged attack as well as +2 melee. Clem has +2/+2 done, though. This is not good for Lambo. For a second, I really did think Clem was injecting his hatcheries, and then I realized he was resetting rally points and building SCVs. Oh my god. Camera locations aren't just for Zerg players, by the way. Just FYI. 3-3 starting. Concussive shells finishing. He fills it in. Tanks in disgusting positions. Clem boldly building his command center on the low ground. Microing on both fronts right now. The command center forced to be canceled, but he's got a terrible positioning for Lambo to come through. Really twists and turns on that sentence. Lambo caught between a rock and a hard place against those tanks. Another mine drop coming in, looking for the fourth. Oh, and he looks... Clem spends several seconds making sure those mines get the juicy hits, but not as juicy as the tendies in your KF console. Hashtag winter, Kentucky Fried Winter. You know, I actually did spend some time in Kentucky, but I was on my PC playing Starcraft most of it, so I couldn't really tell the difference. But I did enjoy some KFC while I was there. Please sponsor me. Clem kills the base, chills out. Let's take a look across the map. Seismic Spines, what is finishing? How many? 7 Lurkers. So Lurkers, it's not like against Protoss. Against Protoss, you need about a dozen before you're really a deadly threat to armies. Marines don't have that much HP, as Terrans will tell you. So just 2 or 3 Lurkers are a deadly threat, especially with their range upgrade. The bait! He baited him in with 1 Lurker! Aha! How do you like it? Well, Clem, unfortunately, though, more focused on this side. Some Predator drones coming in. Overseer in oversight mode, but unfortunately that means it will die. A whole bunch of Widow Mines. This base does. I don't think it was canceled. That is actually a factor at this stage. More Lurkers. Brandon! What are you doing? The knee's broken by the concussive shells. Transfuse comes out with the rest. Lambo trying to close the distance, but Clem is maxed out. Who's the Zerg now? Tanks coming in. The 4th base under fire. Gonna last just a couple seconds under the inexorable barrage. And with that, like, what is it? Blinding cloud on the tanks. Good. Lurkers closing the distance. Better. Medevacs with parasitic bomb. Great. But medevacs in your main, uncomfortable at best. Clem still finding damage, and more damage on the right! Oh, the positioning, jamming himself in between the extractors. Where do you go? What do you do? Like, at this stage of the game, defending is not enough. Lambo is not doing any damage to Clem. Clem has 3 orbitals. He has an extra command center somewhere. He's building another one. He's got 5... Oh, he lifted his main somewhere. I don't know if it was to his 4th or further out. Maybe it's... I have no idea which one of these was the main. One of them was the main. The main no longer... It might be dead. Was there ever a main? The world may never know. Is that Ghost? Wow, spooky. And Lambo should be scared, but wait! He's not! He just dunks his lurkers in. Ghost tank. Now, you might be like, but wasn't Lambo winning? No. No. Let's rewind a moment. Record scratch. Why wasn't Lambo winning? Because at the end of the day... Oh, you know what's happening? There's a drop here. There's a drop there. This army isn't going to end the game. He's not going to kill him with 10 lurkers and a dream. Not with ghosts already on the field. It was a desperation play. And it's not like Clem wasn't doing counter damage. Clem, like, that's just how it is. There's always another medevac. I don't know how, but there's always another medevac. And, well, here we are. Clem up 2-1. A great series, but Lambo is looking a little outclassed right now, unfortunately. Can he find another timing? You just can't let Clem go. He's dangerous. He's dangerous! That was like the end of something. Oh, time for a quick advertising break. I'm sorry. Stick around for Match Point. Be right back. One moment. Hey everybody, I'm Winter, and have you heard of Prime Gaming? I love Prime Gaming. Why? Because I get more money. But with Prime Gaming, you can connect your Amazon Prime account, which you probably have and you don't feel so great about, but you're like, but it's so goddamn convenient. I can get all these impulse buys ordered to my door. I can get great shows like The Expanse, and also there's Prime Gaming. Prime Gaming, you can connect it with Twitch, boom, boom, boom. Amazon ate Twitch years ago, so they already have all your data. Don't worry about it. You connect it with Twitch and you get Prime Gaming. If you go to gaming.amazon.com, you can find, well, or just Google Twitch Prime. You can get $1 million every single month on GTA Online. You can also get like 1/3 of a skin on League of Legends because, oh yeah, you can get a fancy helmet for Star Wars Squadrons, one of the most disappointing games of the year. It's better now, but you can get Valorant points, whatever the fuck that is. You can get dog treats for your big farm mobile harvest. But wait, there's more. You can, with Prime Gaming, and right now, you can subscribe to a streamer of your choice. Even me, you're like, Winter, I'm a daywalker European, and I'm sorry to hear that, but you can subscribe with Prime Gaming no matter what time of day it is, or night. And every moment you don't subscribe to this stream, or to my stream, then you're losing money from me. So, subscribe with Prime Gaming, get your dog treats, and your skins, and your points, and all that fucking bullshit, and do it now. Don't even think, just fucking, oh my god! Welcome back to Match Point. ESL Open semifinals of the Big Game Weekly, who is not making a cameo appearance. Clem up 2-1 against Lambo. And looking strong. Like, Lambo putting up a great and exciting fight. But he's kind of a punching bag right now, unfortunately. Can he punch back? Can he get a couple games in? It's looking rough. Non-romanticide. I like in 2020 so much. 2020 has definitely suited Clem. As before, part of Clem's issue, I guess. It may like part of the reason Clem wasn't winning everything was offline events in person. Of course, we don't have LAN in SC2, which is a completely other point, but he got nervous, like anxious, I have to assume, and that happens especially to younger players pretty frequently. He just didn't play as well as everybody knew he could. All the players he played against are like, he beats me on the ladder all the time, but I was able to get like a 3-1, 3-2 against him, so that was good. But now that most tournaments, for better or worse, are online from the comfort of your own baguette shop, then Clem has had a great year. And I don't know if it's all attributed to that. In fact, I wouldn't attribute it mostly to that, but it definitely doesn't hurt for especially players like that. And I hope this confidence, as we go back to walking in the outside world, then hopefully he can bring it to tournaments in the future as well. Get some non-Beyond/Maru Terrans in there at I Am Katowice and other premier events. Clem blocking one of the thirds here. Lambo already at his... Gets one, gets two. Two lings. No, don't you do it. Oh my god! Oh, he comes back. And everyone else would have lost the Reaper. I'm not, everyone else would have, the entire world would have lost that Reaper. Besides one man. I can't believe he came back. Except Clem actually gets the creep tumor. Somehow. Lambo's building 3 queens at a time, so I do appreciate that. Like, I do appreciate a man who respects his queens. You know what I mean? You know what I always say. Hashtag Yas Queens. Get it trending. All right, let's go. If Yas Queen is trending on Twitter, then I will make sure to leverage that into a KF console discount code for everyone. So make sure, get on board. I like this. I like the just leaving the Reaper staring over the mineral wall that neither can cross. Only workers. The only wall that workers can solve. Or mules. I guess mules count. Replacing SCV jobs since 2010. The robots are taking our... At least they can't mine gas or build... That was because the SCV Union, also known as Zerg and Protoss players, were like, that would be OP! And Terrans are like, I don't understand what you're talking about. Terrans are literally the worst. And Zerg and Protoss are like, but you win half the tournaments. Yes, which is less than 100%. So, here we are. Clem already walling off his natural. Why can't we just shoot mineral patches? That's a great question, Twitch chat. It's because of the nanites. Only workers are equipped with anti-nanite beams and claws in order to disassemble the minerals. Simple projectile weaponry and things along of that nature are not capable of it because of the nanites. That's why the minerals are so sought after, because they can be constructed into so many different things. Wait, that's planet side. Same thing. Oh my god. Yas, queens. Ripping powers. Oh, no. Hashtag down with the monarchy. Hashtag I'm on a UK watch list. Wow, Clem is really focused on walling off here. It's time for the Octorax. We wait for no man. I'm sorry. As these series go on and get more dramatic, I get less and less focused on the actual game. Because we have seen the builds before. We've seen how it plays out to this point. Oh, come on, Clem. You stop. Oh, don't you dare do it again. Don't you dare. How many of the Octorax get reactors and how many get tech labs? What's a tech lab? Says Clem, as his Marines and Hellbats make their way across the map. Mutas are the choice from Lambo, and I like mutas are kind of back in style. Not necessarily. Oh. Looking for the surround. I think there should be enough here. But 1-1 is done for Clem. Is that going to matter? It shouldn't. That should be enough Mutiling Bane. But I've been wrong before. He's using the terrain to find more Muta kills. And one Muta is worth dozens of Marines. Don't tell the Marines that. Okay, like 10 Marines. Lambo breaking through. Wait, whoa, whoa, whoa. This wasn't in the script. Clem is just losing everything. The Lings and Banes get in. Clem losing all his SCVs. The Muta's taking out any Marines. There's a 4th command center here. Wait, how does Clem still have 60 SCVs? This is like nearly a 3-base, like a 4-hatch, 3-base all-in. As Lambo has exactly 66 drones, which is full 3-base saturation. Clem has 4 less workers. What? Only 8 SCVs died. It looked really bad for Clem, though. For, like, in my defense, it looked like he was losing the game, and now he's ahead. Lambo didn't do enough. Like, the Marines die, but with Octorax, they're back. If he loses 30 Marines, they're back in a minute. He gets 30 Marines almost per minute. And if he doesn't kill SCVs or bases, where is he getting an advantage from? We've seen this before with Zergs. Like, okay, you're in his base, now what? And the answer is, I want to do everything. No, pick something. Kill a command center, or kill SCVs, or get on the production. No, everywhere! Get everyone! And suddenly the Marines stand their ground and you don't have enough. Here come some Banelings in towards the 3rd. Clem has ample time to prepare. He's got 2-2 done, and he's tearing through the front. And there's only like 4 Banelings. 4 Banelings don't even... But 1 Marine somehow would kill that. Clem losing a lot of supply depots in a weird situation. 20 drones, rather, not SCVs. 20 drones went down, but 20 SCVs are also going down. As Clem forced to retreat after killing the 4th. This base is done. There's enough Lings and Banes on the high ground that Clem doesn't want to deal with it. The Mutas are finding damage. This time, Lambo found an opportunity. Clem misunderestimated the damage the Mutas could do. I mean, it wasn't critical. He's not bleeding out right now, and in fact, Lambo still not looking great on the... Losing 20 drones at his 4th was unnecessary damage. Losing 20 drones at the 4th was... Lambo needed to get those drones out of there. And if he did, then this game looks a lot different, I think. But at almost even worker counts with mules, on top of the fact that Clem is comfortably on 4 CCs, it's not good for Lambo. He doesn't have an infestation pit. He's going to find himself in a similar situation to Game 1, where eventually the Terran army is just better. And if you don't have an overwhelming advantage in either supply, or at least in economy, then I'm not sure how you compete with Clem's maxed out army. And right now, Lambo, he's not doing much to stop Clem from... He's doing what he can, which isn't enough. What are we going to go, burrow mains or something? Without an infestation pit, all you can do is get 2-2, Mutiling, Bane, and Prey. So mutas on... He's controlling 2 groups of mutas, and by 2 groups of mutas, I mean now 1 group of mutas. And because that's usually how that goes. Clem not running away as quickly as he could, but he's still fighting at the front. A whole lot of Banes. Not enough Banes, though. That's a lot of bio. Meanwhile, though, the mutas are on the production, but Widow Mines exist. He was able to take most of them out. That's a lot of Marines. The Octorax kick it in. Lambo needs this. He comes through. Oh, wow. Clem stands his ground. He cleaned it up back at home. Lambo just never had enough anywhere he needed it. And Clem, it felt like he was zeroing in on it. Game 1, Lambo got off to a good start and Clem was scrambling. And then, Game 2, Lambo, what is it? What is it they say? Cleaned his clock. He gave him a nice direct punch to the face. So Clem kind of reset, came back, and games 3 and 4 were kind of what you expect him to be. Clem just out macroing and microing. Not by much, but by more than enough. And Clem moves on. Congratulations. Is Clem the best non-Korean Terran right now? It'd be hard to argue with, but make sure to argue in the comments after liking and subscribing. Every Monday, you can participate in any of the 3. They're not region locked if you're so interested in being a speed bump for either of these players. The ESL Open Cup, over $1,000 on the line every Monday. Thank you guys for watching. Ring the bell. Hashtag KFWinter. And good luck and have fun. Thank you for watching.